Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today, as part of the 100-day project, we're doing some whimsical characters as my focus in my journal. So I already had this very pink page in my journal and I just decided I wanted to do something really quirky and fun. So I started off with sort of a very large, ovally squarey head shape and drawn a really simple body. I've deliberately not put any hands on because I suck at drawing hands, and I've just used a white Stabilo or pencil to sketch out the lines. I wanted to make this sort of really oversized to I suppose pick up on the whimsical nature of it. Then I'm just going in and painting over the top. So I've done 2 coats of heather paint to do the face, drying it off in between, and then going in and just darkening it down a little bit. So I wanted a little bit more contrast, so I've now covered it over with 3rd coat with blushing to make it sort of that really pink and sort of stand out a little bit from the background as well. When I've done that, then I'm going back in with my white pencil to draw in some of the details. So you can see that the eyes are really, really large and they're to the side of the face. What I've found when drawing is that as long as you kind of keep the proportions of the face, so I put the eyes and the nose and the mouth in the right spot on the face, you can really exaggerate them or shrink them down, but our brain kind of realizes that it's still a face. So by having the eyes sort of on that halfway mark, then having the nose at the 1/4 mark and the mouth at the 1/8 mark, that sort of helps make everything look face-like. When I'm drawing eyes, I tend to put in the pupils first, the catch-alls, because that tends to make them look more realistic. So you can see I've got lots of faces here in my journal because that was my focus for these 7 days. I did actually end up putting in hands, but they're very dodgy. Then I'm using paint markers to put in my details. So I find paint markers really, really handy for doing stuff like this, especially when I'm sort of in a sketchy mood, and it helps it be really quick as well because you're not having to change brushes or worry about anything like that, and you've got a fairly opaque base that you can work with. Just using my thin black Posca paint pen, going around the edges and creating some really quirky little lines. So you can see I've got really small lips in comparison to my eyes, and that's okay. Going around and doing the iris again with my paint markers, and I was sort of really liking how she looked, but I decided I just needed something else. I needed a bit of contrast, so I broke out my neon pens because why not? I've got some neon pink in the background, so I went for a bit of a neon yellow. And as soon as I did this, I sort of had a very bee-like thought popped into my head. So I decided sort of to go with that theme with my little creation here. So I find doing stripes on bodies is a really, really simple way to fill them in. It doesn't take much effort to do, and they tend to look really good. A lot of my magazine collages, if I'm going to decorate over the top of them, I tend to put some stripes on them. To add a little bit more texture to the face, I'm going in with some of my Stabilo woody pencils, and just doing really scribbly lines in the background. So they blend really nicely over the top of the acrylic paint, and it just gives that little bit more depth to it. Then I'm getting out my red Stabilo oil pencil to put in some colour on the lips and on the cheeks. So once I'd done this, I then popped in my antennae for my little bee person. And the main reason for that is, one, because I liked the bee theme, but also because the bottom of the paint, it needed something in that top left-hand corner, so I just wanted to sort of fill it up a little bit. You can see that with heat, the Stabilo oil pencils and the woody pencils have melted in the background. That's why it's suddenly gone shiny, because they are very waxy. So once you heat, they helps them blend really, really nicely, but just let them sort of set down again and dry out, go matte again, and then they'll be okay on the page. I don't tend to have much transfer between my pages. This page actually has probably got the most transfer in my journal, and that's just because the opposite page has got the white gessoed background, so it just picks up everything. Usually my pages are fairly colourful, so it doesn't really matter, and it doesn't bother me in the least anyway, but just so you're aware that sometimes things do rub off, but I don't seal my pages in any way. I've just used a blue pencil to go around the outside to give it a little bit of a shadow to again push the image out from the background, which is quite important for this one because there is a lot of pink on the page. So once I've done that and dried it off, this little bee person is still looking for just the finishing touches, and I was trying to work out what it was, and it ended up being she needed a golden crown. So I popped a little crown on, just using my chrome gold pens, so you can see it's nice and shiny, and then using again the black over the top to do around the outside and give it a bit of shape. I did have to go over this a little time just because I've used my gold pen quite a lot, and it just needed a bit of priming, so it needed a few coats just to sit on. Then, because I really like the gold, I added some to her body as well. So you can see I'm sort of drying stuff off as I go along. I like to do that when I'm working with my Posca paint pens, just because even though they dry really, really quickly, I do tend to work quite fast, and I do tend to put my hands everywhere, and quite often I will, accidentally put my hand in the wrong place and smudge things. So I do like having my my heat tool there just to make sure everything's dry so it doesn't get smudged. When I put the white on the antennae, I decided I wanted to put a little bit more white around the outside of my person as well, just to give it that little sketchy look, and it helps again pop it out from the background a little bit. I love sort of combining the white and black together. Finally, to finish off the page, I'm just putting on the quote using my white pen, really, really sketchy writing, and every woman is a queen bee, which sort of summed it up really nicely. And because I wanted to make it look a little bit quirky, I've coloured in all the circly bits in my letters. I'm sure there's an official name for those, but I can never remember what it is. To finish that off, and again to pop it out from the background, just using my black pen, I'm just putting a bit of a drop shadow on it, so you can sort of see how it helps push it out from the background, and you'll certainly see that in the close-up at the end. So that's it, a really, really quick and easy way. It's a really great way to practice drawing faces. If you don't mind it not being perfect, just have a go, because it's just lots of fun and it's achievable. It's just really big shapes put together, and because it is quirky, and that's one of the reasons I love doing whimsical shapes, there's no right or wrong. No one can say it's incorrect. So hope you have a go. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.